Eileen the Crow, a hunter of hunters, can be found very early on in Bloodborne. But how do you really complete her questline? Well, don't worry, this is going to be a complete guide on how you finish the Eileen the Crow quest, including all locations, requirements, and battles that you're going to need to do this. Step number 1, you gotta find her, which actually is done very early on in the game and pretty much in Central Yharnam. Essentially, once you've opened up a lot of the shortcuts in Central Yharnam, just follow this path that I'm following from the Central Yharnam lantern, and essentially just past the area with the dogs. There's a bunch of boxes that you can actually roll through before going down, and you're gonna see a window where you just wanna roll through that, and you're gonna see Eileen just hanging out there, and you can talk to her for the very first time. From this dialogue, she'll give you 4 bold hunter's barks and the shake off cape gesture. Talk to her twice, otherwise you will miss the gesture. Never hurts. Also too though, if you do complete Central Yharnam and make your way into the Cathedral Ward, she's going to move, but it's okay if you miss this first interaction. She will be in the second location until you activate a bunch of different things, and so don't sweat it too much if you have gotten too far and, she's not in the first location anymore. So to get her to show up in the second location, there's actually quite a few more requirements here. The first is that you actually have to open up all the gates around Cathedral Ward, which you will do by mostly just progression through the game naturally. But for the shortcut gate, you either have to buy the Chief Hunter emblem from the shop, or just as you get ready to go into the Forbidden Woods, you're going to see the shortcut, so you just got to make sure to hang a little bit of a left and make sure that that's all unlocked. After this, you have to kill Vicar Amelia and touch the skull behind her in the Grand Cathedral, which is going to activate the next phase of the game. I know if you look online, some of the guides will say that you need to speak to Eileen before you kill Amelia to activate the next phase, but I wasn't actually able to find Eileen until I had beaten Amelia, so I think that this is a little bit backwards. This is updated early 2023, by the way. Once you've killed Amelia, once the gates are open, just walk outside the Cathedral Ward straight down, and she's going to be directly to your left. Here, she's going to talk about her next mark, Henryk, and you're going to get the that sounded so weird to say, but you're going to get the gesture from this next dialogue tree. After you've actually talked to her, then just go back to the Hunter's Dream, and what you're going to notice is that you can't actually spawn at the Tomb of Odeon lamp anymore. Important to note here, if you actually beat the boss in the Forbidden Woods section, Henryk is going to disappear permanently, so this couldn't end the quest, so don't progress too far. Make sure that you do face Henryk before you beat the Forbidden Woods boss. So at this point, just go back to the Cathedral Ward lamp and then backtrack it to the area where you fought Gasquion. This time around, Henryk is going to be here and he's going to immediately attack you, and then Eileen's going to come out of nowhere, and essentially she's going to help you with this fight. Keep in mind you need to kill him without hurting Eileen too many times, otherwise as soon as Henryk is dead, Eileen's going to come after you next, and that's pretty much just going to prevent the quest from continuing. On top of that too, Eileen has to survive the encounter, otherwise you won't be able to get the next part of the quest, and the quest just ends there. So this Henryk fight can be a little bit tricky, but honestly just using your ranged weapons to give Eileen an opening to get into her combos, and then either that or sneaking around Henryk and attacking him from the other side to stagger him just for a second, these are easy ways to just kind of distract his attention to allow Eileen to just kind of go ham on it. When Henryk is beaten, talking to her is going to give you the approval gesture, and she's going to give you a little bit more lore, specifically Henryk's connection to Gasquion, because they used to be hunter friends, and it was a whole thing. Of course, from Henryk's course, make sure to pick up the items as well. You can get the Air Carol rune, and you're also going to unlock Henryk's set in the Insight shops of messengers in the Hunter's Dream, which honestly, hey, more armor, why not? Once the whole Henryk chapter finds itself nice and wrapped up, next you need to activate the Blood Moon by defeating Rom in order to enter into the final phase of the game. At this point, spawn at the Cathedral Ward and then go to the Grand Cathedral, and you're actually going to see Eileen on the ground, blood covering her where she's kind of lying. If you do go and talk to her, she will tell you about her next mark inside the Grand Cathedral, and so basically at this point you need to go in there and give her the assist. I am going to be honest with you, this fight sucks. The Bloody Crow of Cainhurst does a lot of damage for almost free at times, and just requires a lot of patience to be able to whittle down that health bar. The biggest thing you need to be careful of is the visceral attacks. Honestly, this will just one-shot you and then you're dead, and no matter how much life this guy has left, it'll just kill you immediately. But in addition to that, just the repeating pistol that he uses in order to try and stagger you out to get that visceral attack, that thing does a lot of damage in its own. 2 bullets can almost kill you immediately. So if available, please equip the Castle Cainhurst armor. This does a lot of nullification towards a lot of the physical and the blood damage that the Bloody Crow of Cainhurst is going to be bringing. He's also going to use 2 blood vials during the fight, but I did find that if you get his HP below 40%, before he uses one of those blood vials. He's only going to pop one in this fight, which drastically reduces the amount of time it takes to beat him. The best strategy here is basically just try and get him to activate the blood power of the Shikage, which will basically slowly drain his HP as he's doing attacks on you. Then use your firearm to stagger you, because he's going to try and roll away and try and take it out of the blood form, which also allows him to use the repeating pistol. If you do try and take your pot shots at him a little bit further away, it'll encourage him with the blooded Shikage to roll towards you and try and get an attack off, completely stopping him from being able to pull out the firearm and just draining his HP. I'm gonna warn you, I was able to beat him when I hit level 80, but I basically had to finish the entire game before I could get to this, so it was incredibly difficult to do. Once you've beaten the Bloody Crow of Cainhurst, just walk back outside and then talk to Eileen, who's still on the ground here. She'll thank you, but more importantly, you're gonna get the Crow Hunter badge, and she will actually let you join the Hunter of Hunters Covenant, which basically is just a fancy rune that you get as well. Very important, make sure to talk to her immediately afterwards. If you do teleport back to the Cathedral Ward and come back, Eileen is no longer gonna be there. With the Crow Hunter badge, you're gonna unlock the entire Crow Hunter set from the shop, and on top of that too, you get the Merciful Blades, which in my opinion is one of the strongest skill-based weapons in the entire game. And just like that, you finished Eileen's quest. She didn't turn hostile, she didn't try and chase you down inside the Grand Cathedral. You are a star. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If this was helpful, please subscribe. I've got one more video left where I'm going to be covering one of the DLC side quests. So make sure to tune into the channel then. Like, comment, all that type of stuff helps the channel grow so much. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.